off last night, had some technical situations. I am back tonight. I do want to ask if anybody on the East Coast was affected by that earthquake. Let me know. Uh, Thoughts and prayers are with folks. It was very, um, you know, what's going on with everything. I hope everybody's okay. Um, it's one of those things where uh, um, very serious though. And what's happening? How you living? How you doing? I'm here tonight. What's up? Let's talk. How you doing? How you feeling? Just got on, just as a matter of fact. Yeah, just came on. So you picked up perfect timing. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm right here. Some people got hit with the earthquake. What's up? How you doing? Doing all right. Just got through eating. Yeah, I had a little something strange. Had to get some wiring straight last night. It was crazy. My Bluetooth speaker box was messing up. I thought, what's up, Ted? Are you affected by the quakes at all? Let me know. I thought I didn't know what was up. Yeah, well, that's why he got the job. That's why he got the job. Angel Reese is that is on the East Coast. I'm doing all right. How you doing? Scar now, what's up? Earthquake was back east. People in New York. Thanks. Yeah, I had to. I saw the whole thing with him, and I thought about you, but I thought you was asking where he was, and I read that, and I was thinking, I see. I think that answers the question. I thought when he went at talking about he lost some people because he supported Biden and woke culture. Yeah, that was a few weeks ago. I did a video about it. I don't know if you watch any of my videos. I do videos on YouTube, and I talked about that. I said the symbolism of it because it's named after Francis Scott Keys, slave owner. And I said, ain't that ironic? Okay, I'm glad you're okay. But yeah, when you think about earthquakes in the East, that's so far, that don't usually happen. It's more like the West Coast thing. I heard about the Moscow attack. I saw that too. That's mob style. That's some wars going on. I know it's going down. I know it's going down. There's gonna be something going down. 2024 ain't gonna just be entertainers getting taken out. It's gonna be other things getting taken out. I'm telling you, it's starting. It's hardcore already. It ain't just Puffy. It's other stuff. You know. Yeah. I do a mixed thing of I talk about different topics because make my channel uniform to different things. I don't just a one trick pony with stuff. And so I touch on different topics because, it's a wide range. And I like to give the audience a different take and perspective. But there's going to be more than that. It's getting real out here. Pretty much. It's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you thought pandemic life was crazy. This one could be a real doozy. We ain't even talking about election coming up a bit. It's crazy. A lot of stuff going down. A lot of stuff going down. So be safe, be careful, stock yourself. You never know. That's cool. I'm glad you came through. I mean, always glad whatever time you got, always welcome it, you know. Um, it it's got a promising future, but it takes a Yeah, peace out. It's one of them things where um they got to get some recruits. Do you understand? There's a lot of expectations, hype. Takes a little time. Not exaggerated at all. There's still people dying from it. Wow, that's sad. So they got a lot of work to do. Colorado can get better. It's gonna take a little time. Um, not over. Not the extent of that, but there's still people dying. And I don't find it exaggerated now when there are people who still got long term effects from it because there's still people who are still dealing with it. Yeah, people are getting taken out for the most stupid, most pettiest thing. Growing up, I did. I think there are too many guns and too many mental illnesses in the United States, and people don't have a of sense of like restraint. That's debatable. That's very debatable. See, I hate when I can tell you rappers that I think are great. I can't tell you definitively one because it's so subjective. No one can really lay claim because what is your definition of a GOAT rapper? GOAT rapper would have to be someone who had classic albums, spit style, music, impact, etc., etc. So you got a few candidates. It's hard to say one person. I feel he is, but for some people, some people's they hold him as a top tier rapper. I don't really like at this stage. I don't like getting into who's the best or better than that. I have people that I like a lot, but you might not. And you gotta remember something too. It's different criterias. Different criterias. You know, it's all subjective too. It really is. Because I mean, we can name people, and then it becomes subjective to what moved you. Well, I feel that way. I don't really think they do so much for Kid Rock. Now, do share something with me that I ain't heard because Kid Rock ain't really been, he ain't really getting the cookout treatment these days. Eminem, obviously, but Kid Rock, mm, I mean, well, last time Kid Rock had some love, really, do tell. They are too free. And it's a lot of mental illness. But you know why? Because the mafia runs it. It's called the NRA. That's a legalized mafia. They own a lot of stock and a lot of things. Walmart sells guns. There you go. I mean, you can't get bigger than Walmart. Think about it. That's corporate America. Oh, you talking about who? Which one you talking about? You talking about Kid Rock? Yeah, and he's the same person who walks around with his Confederate flag, slurps up the Trump. Did people get blindsided because someone will stand and take photo ops with you? But when you get into their politics and you get into their, and I know he has a black daughter, I know all that. I know son, my bad. That don't mean nothing. So did slave masters. What's your point? I mean, we we wouldn't be asking for reparations if we were all clear. We wouldn't be your last name Lincoln. Well, but they're not considered three of the best right now either. Most people will tell you J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar are considered three best. Yes, ask Ted. Go to Walmart. Go to your, yeah, that's how it is in America. They got a flag over here and they got a gun over there. That's what they do. Yep. I remember Penny. Kid Rock is not to be trusted, but that's another video, another story. I don't really talk about poor white trash, but Yeah, what I'm saying is it's all subjective. I had a buddy once ask me, did I think Drake was top 10 ever? And did Drake, because he streamed a billion streams, was that the equivalent to Michael Jackson? See, when I have to answer these questions, it's a different standard. Okay. Okay. I got you. Go ahead. Let's see what you're going to say. So, yeah, I don't really want to watch it. I hope Sarah Connor tear it behind her. Okay. So, what's your point? Do tell. I know the fix is on. You know the fix is on too. It's gonna be, and she beats South Carolina. They'll make it like the greatest upset ever. They're slurping her. Of course, they're gonna have the refs help. I tell you all the time, the refs are bought and paid for. Well, so in the United States, there was about 30 plus years ago, there was a thing called MTV Real World. What they did is that they took people who were in front of a camera, put them in rooms and places, and brought them up. And nothing goes over my head. I just ain't taking you that serious. That's all. Anyway, opinions on reality TV is that it was cheaper to get unknown talent and put them there. So by and large, they cut out people with skill set, with talent, and then they build up the reality TV. Reality TV led to what? American Idol. They took that, which was an old concept anyway from the Apollo in New York, ran with that. What you have now is robots. You've had a constant way of trying to minimize celebrity, but they build them the way they want to build them. So that's what you're pretty doing with. Of course, it's a 8 on 5 because when they have money on a person, I'll tell you about this all the time. I don't know who you are, and I'm about to ready to say sayonara to you. I'm not going to deal with people who don't have conversations and use some intellect. They just want to troll. They got to go somewhere else with that. That go for anybody. Anyway, yes, I say this all the time to you as I talk about your beloved Lakers, and I say it about other things. When the powers be that want someone to win, they do. That's a great question. I would say if I had to pick out the two, probably New York for me. When I did eat like that. When I ate like that, it was New York. But Chicago's got other things going for it, though. Good call about that. It is. Okay, well, that's fair enough. Except that when I lived in New York, people, but Chicago got everything else, though. Chicago's tough, though. It's tough. There are people who do have that Dutch. It's like that for real. That's what's going on in the United States right now. That's why you have such a divide. And it stinks to high heaven. Well, the politics in America is I'm fine. What about yourself? Introduce yourself before you. I'm cool. Um, Politics in America is very tricky. Okay, what's up? Politics in America is very tricky because it's a lot of lingo, innuendo, a lot of things going on. It's a lot of game though. So because sometimes I've done videos where some people get offended and they disguise themselves and they want to do this, or they got nothing else better to do. Oh yeah. David Robinson, yo. Did you see his movements? He was fluid. I hate to use that term. I gotta use a better term because saying fluid means different things in 2014. So I gotta be cool. He was flowing. Let me just say that about David. He flowed. He was poetic as a center. Are you kidding? That dude had a spin move. Oh, now you in on the bag. Okay, Dutch, you've been reading us. That's a good question. I'm going to give a slight, very slight edge to Kyrie because of the way he moves his body better. He really does a lot of shifting his body on the perimeter better than Iverson did. Iverson got you at the top of the key. Kyrie can really hit that left right thing on you with it. He really can. And how he uses his hands is like a magician. But I think Curry can hang with Kyrie. I think Kyrie's ambidextrous, he's able to mix and match. Okay. Okay, I was wondering how you picked up on it. Tim Hardaway Sr., man. He hit it hard. He hit you with that Kid never hit you like that. Kid was a better player, but handles just to hit you hard. Tim Hardaway Sr., man. He had that he had that punch. Kid didn't hit you like that. Kid hit you with going on breaks, the passing, the movement, the direction, the shift. Better, that. Not Tim Hardaway Sr. Anyway, Ted, what you think? Michael Cooper just got in the Hall of Fame. Took them like 80 years. We talk about this all the time. Best NBA family overall? I don't know. That's a toughie because I mean, best NBA family overall. There's not a lot of families that have been successful in the NBA. When you asking a question about something that is not really like in the NFL, I can tell you the Manning brothers. Yeah. I don't know. Coop must have said something. I don't know why it took so long. Then Robert Ory should be on the call. I might do a video about that. Ory should be getting his call soon too. Anyway, sometimes sometimes we get a lot of trolls up in here. I can usually spot them because they usually say something stupid and smart and aleck, and that's how I get them bounced. And I told people along, why you a hater? I'm gonna let Ted answer that one. There's only one of them that we care about, okay? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. We don't. Mm-mm. That's like asking, well, Michael Jackson, should better Tito and everyone else that wasn't Jermaine and Randy get it. Thank you, Ted. I don't know. I don't know. It either a sign that you making some headway. Sometimes if you got haters, that's usually a sign that you doing something. All right, now what's up? How you doing? A ring's a ring. Ask Ted about a ring's a ring. Everybody's ring don't count. Um, Good question. That's a great one. Jokic, because think about it. He almost did to the Clippers what he did to Golden State. That pull up from way by midcourt with that three. He got handles. He can finish it. He can finish it. He can finish it. I don't think MB can pull like that. And when I say that, that's part of having the bag. Jokic is don't let that Mr. Potato Head fool you with that slow mo move. He be cacking on cats. Just saying. I'm just looking. I'm like, whoa. So, except 202 2020. Sometime it be crazy up in here. Oh, that's a great question. If I'm drafting people, I'm taking Shaq, Wilt, Shaq, Wilt, Larry Bird, Kareem. Yeah, I can have anybody I want. I ain't stuttering. I'm taking who I want. And I'm gonna take I'm gonna make my team big and dangerous. So Shaq Wilt, Kareem, Larry Bird. I'm gonna take Magic. Pistol Pete, yo. Pistol Pete. That was the baddest white boy for his handles I ever seen. The baddest. I know some will come and say white chocolate with Jay Will, and Jay Will was nice with it, except he was kind of like one dimensional because he turned the ball over too much and he get cutesy. No, I didn't forget Jordan. You asked me my starting five, I picked my five. You don't like it, pick your five. Don't ask someone what they would pick and then get mad they don't pick who you want. No, I didn't forget Jordan. Because if I get those guys in their peak and their prime, who's beating them? Who's gonna beat Shaq in his prime? Who's gonna beat Wilt in his prime? Free African Americans in America. I can't have this. God knows these people's is bad. Oh, Troll Central is crazy tonight. Yeah, they are coming. I do political, so I don't know. They don't. Underrated bags in basketball. Probably Adrian Dantley comes to mind. Probably. How you doing? All right. AD. I would probably say. Um, People trolling. Let's see, Adrian Danley. Um, Believe it or not, Dr. J doesn't get enough due for his baggage. He really don't. Do Rove could make a strong case. Yeah, that's one. That's another one. Yeah, I mentioned them three. Dr. J don't get enough due for his. Then people see the movement in the air and stuff. He was crazy creative. Um, I think Isaiah Thomas, Zeke. Zeke was doesn't get his due. Um, Oscar Robertson. Yeah, they're trolling. They saying hello like 93 different ways, and I ain't trying to get a headache. Free Palestine 80 ways. Worthy's was. Worthy's was. He had good handles. He had good movement. He had good movement. He was agile movement. Even though there's some people I know who think that Jerome Kersey could have done the same thing he did. I actually had some say that. It was probably before my time when I wasn't aware. I haven't seen any team that has won in the last 40 years that I'd say they were the worst to get a ring. Can't really answer that because you should answer that. Yeah, what's up, Goonie? This is the cat right here. Thank you for coming through. And I did do that video. Should be up any moment. Should be up right by now. I did it about an hour ago. So it should be on my. Appreciate you asking that. Now, get a laugh at this right here. Look at what Skip Bayless said. Skip said that Derek Coleman did, but Derek Coleman was a waste. One of the most talented dudes. You want to talk about a bum? He's one of my boom centrals. He's a bum. There actually was a guy in the ESPN magazine that said Derek Coleman wasted so much of his career he wouldn't even give him a call. He should have been the link between Karl Malone and Charles Barkley. Okay, see, it just came up. Thank you. Yeah, I did one about so Goonies never dies, never say die. Requested that I do the Skip Bayless video about when he said that Bill Walton was better than Steph Curry. And I believe it or not, as much as I watch and dispute it, I didn't remember that episode. Might have been working or doing something, I don't know. And I may have actually had something else better to do than listen to Skip talk like a crackhead. But I did go into depth about it because Walton had a great start to his NBA career before injuries took off. And if you use his college career, which they do, that's one thing. But if we're talking about totality to his NBA career, and I had to think of a good analysis. I had to think, is that like comparing Terrell Davis to Barry Sanders? Because even though TD was more accomplished with the rings and his NFL career was cut short because of injuries. He did not have Barry Sanders' career. He retired because his body gave out. They should. You talking about besides the Raptors, they if the NBA deemed it worthy. Of course, the way the Memphis Grizzlies suck right now, they could probably take them back right now and get them at a discount. Um, what's that? Um, what's his name? Tim Horton. You'll probably get some Tim Hortons for the Grizzlies right now. 6 packs of Tim Horton. Yeah, that's kind of old news. We've been doing that for like about, I want to say 2.5 years. I ain't lying. You could get them for Tim Hortons right now. I ain't lying. You think I didn't know that about Tim Hortons? You know it's true. They suck. And you gonna tell me that coach shouldn't be fired? You gonna tell me that John Morant was? You're making John Morant look like he is Steph Curry or something. How the heck did they fall off that bad? No, it won't. I don't see no old men up there. They gonna get their feelings hurt. Look, LeBron is either lying about his injuries, hallucinating. Any way in the world, he should be participating in the Olympics, and Steph Curry neither. Y'all barely can make the playoffs. What the heck, y'all wouldn't even be having a playoffs if Adam Silver didn't have this cornball tournament. Shh, I want to see that. They probably spanked that butt. Oh, you said NBA Olympics would be excited. I thought you were talking about the American part. I don't know. Ted knows how I feel about him. I think he's one of the worst owners ever. He didn't turn the NBA into like WWF. It's just a joke. It's embarrassing. The All-Star game is like, oh god. I mean, it's kind of like you got to be kidding. You know. He is a stooge for everything that doesn't have any real meaning, basically. There's no defense, there's no identity. It's just a blob of what? What is it? When the basketball is played a good way, it's watchable. But when it's just no characters and no flow, it's all over the place. Caitlin Clark, they're gonna put a lot of money to make it. It's gonna be interesting. He was the Don, like the mafia. No, he the one who pushed Jordan. He after Magic and Bird, he pushed you. He wasn't a stooge. He was like Clive Davis. He was a handler, gatekeeper. He knew how to manipulate things. I had a love thing with Stern, but he made the NBA watchable, and you had identity. But he was a politician too. He's the same dude 20 years ago said, "If I had my way, be LA versus LA." Wasn't brave, is what he had to do. Wasn't brave. If you break a violation of the ethics, what you gonna do? They did a lot of what we call uh dark alley deals. A lot of players got saved for stuff that you ain't never heard of. you know, yeah. And that mafia dude, Michael Franceschi, he be on Vlad sometime. I watch his show. I can't never say his name, but mobster dude. He talked about James Jordan. All the mobster cats knew about Jordan's pops. Let's just say that it was pretty known. I'm a firm believer that that was an inside job, that they paid those two cats to go do that. I believe that. You know why they could do it? Because they made it for a storyline. And see, no, it was done in a manipulative way that taunted like he quit and played into a Franceschi. Yep. You should read some, watch some of his interviews. He's got some real good details. He talked about Jordan. Sure did. I watch him sometimes because they ran the business. People who don't know about the mobsters running the entertainment, sports, all that. Hey, business is business. But anyway, he ran up a tab. Yes, he did. Pretty much. And they find a couple of young cats and they sit there and they pay them. Because you know good and well, if someone iced out Jordan's father with many Michael Jordan fans as they are, you think those cats can survive being in the joint 25, 30 years without someone trying to knock their kneecaps out? Come on now. That's a good question. You know, he he was a journalist, ordinary, then he became a shock jock. It has its place. People like, someone to say some outlandish out. Now he's slurping up the Paul Pierce and Keyshawn because what happened is whatever he had, it's gone by the wayside because he didn't see that cat that would light up like a gold nugget and Shannon Sharp. His ratings have taken a tank, and he can't really come up with. Sometimes you gotta know when to shut up. When you get something that's a jewel, don't treat gold like cubic zirconia. Don't treat it like it's artificial or fake. Because Shannon Sharp was the best thing that happened to Skip, and he messed it up bad. He wet the bed, and that stench. I don't care who you bring on Paul Pierce. There is no one that he could really bring. What I consider in the very good didn't make it to quite great to me, but he could be considered top 75. I think he held himself back. I just don't think that he was always on focus. Should have been even better. Never learned to play offense the right way. If he even had a drop shot or any type of shot, that would have been a 25 point a night man. He had everything else going for him. Should have been the bigger version of David Robinson because he was very mobile. And his defense was on point. He was athletic and all that. He could actually shoot threes now. Well, I don't really talk about that because they all pretty sad. I mean, it's not something I really talk about because I mean, Lynn Bias was sad. Reggie Lewis was sad. By the time you get to Kobe, that means a lot of the brother that got taken out by his wife in Memphis. I mean, that's all sad. They all sad. They all sad. It really is. I don't have one or the other because they all sad. Especially when you think about young guys and Hank Gathers. I can go on. They all sad. All of them. All of them. Yeah, that's all sad. That's the only way I can say it. They all stat pat all the time because most of the guys, their careers are pretty much, and that's what they end up doing. So, all guilty of it. So, I don't rank one or the other with that. That's a pretty morbid, sad kind of thing. I don't really even try to think about it because it's pretty sad when you think about it. They all hit in different ways. A lot of these cats were young and they just okay. So a lot of them. I mean, again, I'm not okay. Not all of them, but there's a lot of cats that fall in that description. I mean, we could sit here and name names. I mean, there's quite a few of them. Quite a few of them playing the game. That's an obvious one. I don't have to even say the names. You already know who they are. Sometimes your answer is right there in your question. Gonna hit you like a light bulb. Guys that you can name. If you want to name names, like I said, you ain't you. I'll tell you if you say someone I don't agree with. How about that? I'll play that game. Till you name somebody I don't agree with. Yeah, those are like obvious. They're obvious people. Obvious. Yeah, but this is the thing. They did try all that. They do all that. However, the competition was people had to individualize you. How you gonna win? There was a different incentive back then. So even cats that would and cats that did it didn't win. They weren't manipulated. Let me say this. You mentioned the first person you mentioned is Dame Lillard, right? Who's he playing for? Milwaukee. Who's he playing with? Giannis, who's a world champion, league MVP, right? Okay. And you just mentioned Jordan Poole. Guys like that did not get rewarded with being with top tier teams. Maybe when they got old or something, after being bounced around 30, 50 times. It used to be frowned upon. A lot of these cats now, that's all they do. Cats used to be trying to win. If they sucked, they got dropped or something. Wasn't like this need, but this is a different NBA. I'm telling you, it's a different NBA. There's always been similar things, but the difference is that cats, well, the problem with him is he just either can't stay healthy and he plays for a garbage team. So I can't hold that against him. I don't view him as a stat pattern because he don't score but so many points. You gotta understand. Okay, you want to talk about stat patterns? They're guys who front like they lead the team. Don't give me guys who don't give me guys who are sidekicks on teams or third wheel. You got to get. I can tell you when you're going with the Dames of the world, when you're going with. I don't really want to talk about Jordan Poole because he really is not much of a never was. You say Devin Booker, no, not him. You say I'm gonna give you the real names, okay? You were on the track with Dame Lillard. You were on the track with Trey Young. You could be on the track with Russell Westbrook. You could be on the track with James Harden. Yes, you do. Because we don't play fundamental NBA no more. What you Draymond Green, you stat padding 666, six fouls, six turnovers, six flagrancies. Jalen Brown, because they do have success, they have had success. And see, the thing for me is it's kind of blurry who would stat pad out there too. Yeah, he ain't really. I mean, I told you he's got Deshaun Watson tendencies. We're gonna see what happens next year. That's all I gotta say. You'll see if he's healthy. We'll see. He didn't squander 2 years. We'll see. Tell these cats stop acting like you're gonna be 25 for 30 years. He's headed to. You're getting it. You're getting it. See, there are guys who got stats, but what does it really mean? You're missing some obvious people. Yep, he's one. I guess if y'all want me to go in, I'm gonna go in. Pretty much most of the people in the Chicago Bulls. Think about it. Not Isaiah Thomas. You talking about Isaiah? Are you talking about Isaiah? You're talking about Isaiah Thomas today, right? I wouldn't call him I wouldn't call him that. He played hard. He actually took care of his sister, and he ended up paying the price for not getting the deal he could have gotten. But he doesn't fall in that criteria. He may have played over his mind, but he doesn't fall into that criteria. DeRozan, Zach LaVine. Yeah, yeah. Actually, the Zeke is about 6'1", so they not that far off. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, he is. But again, if you ask me that question, Paul George falls into that category too. Like I said before, and I think Cat does too. From Timberwolves, Cat falls into that too. I'm like, look, who was 6'9"? The only person I know that was 6'9" was a rapper. No, I said that Isaiah Zeke. I said Zeke is 6'1", but 5'9" and Isaiah, they're not that far off. Oh, really? You scored 63 points and you choke a game against Charlotte, got called out. Oh, you forgot, huh? This year. Most people look at Ant as the best player on the team. Last I checked, has Anthony Edwards even cracked 50 points in a game? How long Cat been pure man? He ain't better than Anthony Edwards. And they don't win because of Cat. More people more worried about Ant than they are Cat. I know, and he blew that game too. And he got called out behind it too. Cat got called out. He had 60 something in the All-Star game and didn't mean nothing. Stat padding. You want to talk about stat padding? There you go. That's your answer right there. Y'all want to defend him. What has he done? If he was so great inside outside game, how come he ain't in the argument with Jokic and Embiid and them? Not necessarily. You think it would be the case, but there are exceptions to the rule. Now your best player should be, but if you're the best player on the team, you need to be more vocalized. But not everybody's always adheres to that. He's in the argument for most what? He's not the best player on this team. And you say you need to be the leader, to be the best on the team. Who's the leader of the Phoenix Suns? Dutch. Please tell. Who's the leader on the Phoenix Suns? I'm not saying he doesn't have skill sets, but he doesn't have leadership. He's a stat pattern. I don't know too many people that put him in that argument. Those guys are considered league MVPs. Cat's not considered a league MVP. If you ask anybody right now who's a league MVP, Anthony Edwards going to get more attention than Cat. That's a fact. Go look it up. Cat has the skill set to score like them, but he doesn't play with consistency. No one puts Cat in there. Deep book, obviously. Deep book. You talking about Derrick Brooks? Or Devin Book? Hmm. Hmm. They usually don't win nothing either. Yeah, well, yeah, and what's that say about that team? Durant's considered the best player on the team, or he's the guy, you know. Yeah, I asked who the Suns leader was, and I still don't really know. You want to say he is? I don't know because he don't act like one. I don't really know. Teams that are leaderless or don't have an identity tend not to win. I don't no expectations for Phoenix. Just saying. And part of me was being funny, but part of me is being serious. It depends on where you are in the states. If you're on the East Coast right now, it's about three something, pushing 4 o'clock. If you're on the West Coast, it's pushing 2. So it all depends on where you are. My point was, if Devin Booker, but I don't feel it though, and I don't trust the rent, so I don't know. Well, yeah, because it's different time zones. Depends on where you are. But yeah, well, they tend to be ahead of everybody too. So who else could be? See, I don't really know because they're just not really a team that I see has an identity. They are like a mismatch of cats, and they're hoping something sticks. But I'm not sold on them. He is. He is. But that's their point guard. And there's this strange thing that people act like he's the big three. They talk crazy like they got a big three in Phoenix. I'm like, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. They can score, but a big three? Mm. If I'm in Kevin Durant's position, I'm like, I hope these guys can hold up because it don't look that good. Does the average folk know much about NBA NFL here? Well, that's because it depends on where you live. Oh, in the United States? Or I'd say, yeah, because they're very global. NFL is the biggest sport in America, and NBA's right there marketing. They know the main people. Now, when you say no, it depends. Thank you. I like that one, Ted. Damn. I like that one. I like that one. There's truth to what that man just said. I don't know what that is in Phoenix. That you was asked, I really don't know. I don't know. Look, I love Kevin Durant like the next person as far as his career, got respect for him. I don't know what he done signed up for. Cause without Chris Paul there and Devin Booker, I don't trust him. He scores a lot, but I don't know what he really do. He mean mugs and nothing has been the same since they lost to Milwaukee in the finals. Uh, they got rid of Dayton, the Ayton who was delusional, and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, who's a good stat pattern, scored good in Washington, but he's a great player who did go to multiple finals and came up big. So I'm gonna give him more credit than that. The knock about him is he's not a leader. He's a dude that's alpha talent who doesn't want to be alpha man. There's a difference. Got alpha talent doesn't want alpha responsibility. I don't think he was stat padding OKC. I thought he was legit. He was great talent. He just never was a leader. Yeah, thank you. I felt he was no stat pattern. You can knock him for other things. You can call him a bus rider and say he's a sidekick and he's happy to be part of the crew, but he ain't no stat pattern. Well, because he's been switching jerseys left and right and he got old. That's why he Bring it on themselves. Tell it all the time. These cats think they're gonna stay 25 for 20 years and then they get old and they start moving, shifting and crying and moaning, get hurt, feelings get hurt, don't never win nothing. You forget about them. And that's a guy right there that's a woulda, coulda, shoulda. But it ain't happening, so yeah, you ain't the only one. They all on the same team right now. Him, Paul George. If Kawhi Leonard didn't have what he got for his career and reputation, they all be in the same boat. That's how what the Clippers have got. I know you do. I respect how hard he worked, but I had to give him some. I have to give him some some kick, some slap back because he never got to another level though. Well, that's because the NBA likes to be ranked where they think they all can do that. I mean, you got to remember something. When you're getting more money than your coach, who are you going to listen to? So they all think that now. In places it was. Not for me is great. Like I'll say this, I'll give him his status, but he fell off for me. I just look at him like, he didn't play for like 15 different teams, and it's kind of like, you know, it just I don't know. I know with the Clippers, that's the last go round for him now. If he messes this up, he done. That's a great question. I would probably say the early 90s. I'd say from 87 to about 93. He was scary. That was him on his full arsenal. And then he came back with that fadeaway shot. And that was part two of his career, part three. But I say 87 to 93. So, yeah. That's what I say was Jordan's peak. Yeah. Because you got to remember something. That mindset of the NBA is different. It still has some carryover, but usually the best player on the best team usually goes and wins. Usually, but there have been some exceptions to it. Um, I mean, let me think. Let me put this in perspective. Um, you had a situation where a couple guys won MVPs or something, and they didn't have necessarily the same. The team didn't go as far. It all depends, but it can happen. It can happen because you can have an incredible regular season, like when, you know, and you can be stand out. Your team just is garbage. Hmm. Nothing in recent memory. So when you ask that question, that'd be better, almost better served for baseball or something like that, because it doesn't really happen in the NBA. No, He was a great talent. He was never the best. He came out when he came to the NBA. Jordan was in his last 2 or 3 years of his NBA career. Then Iverson, you fast forward, was caught right when Vince Carter was crazy, Shaq was crazy, Duncan and Kobe. Then Jason Kidd in there. He was never the best in the league. He was a guy who could create his own shot, and he was a great talent, but not the best. No. Okay, that's cool. I keep it simple though. But no. But no, Seth, no. There's never I haven't seen any no, Cinderellas don't really happen in the NBA. Most people who watch the NBA gonna tell you the same thing. To get a Cinderella team, you gotta have some like let's look at this year. If Minnesota or I know some people gonna say Miami, but they've been there multiple times. I need something that you didn't see coming. That doesn't happen in the NBA. Never. Well, he never becomes too tall. He just becomes too clumsy and unorthodox. So, what made you laugh? Do tell me what made you laugh? That question. Something about that was comical. I've never heard. The only thing that works against a guard is too. There's no such thing as too tall. You just suck. That's all. Tell him to you. You just suck. It's a George Miller son. What's that one dude that does the commercials with Trey Young? I know that is funny. He never becomes too tall. If he just don't coordinate and don't have no instincts, then he just gonna be problematic. He gonna hurt his own self. Priest Light, yeah, oh god. You know he got named after the priest from Superfly. And he had a cool name, and that lasted for about what, 3 months. I remember him. Had a cool name though. Had some spring in him too, and then forgot all about him. Oh man, yeah, you were aware in the 90s, especially when he came out and Harold Miner. Oh god. There was some comedians. I am afraid. And David Stern got their butt up out of there. There was a cold name, pimp name, but yeah, he did. You know he did. There were no G League then. You guys people were clowning you if you got sent to them leagues back then. People clowned you. He sure didn't. Well, no, he did, but if you suck, they weren't giving you a 20-year. See, let me tell you like this. This thing with Bronny James coming out. Now I'll give you an example. George Carl's son, Cody, came out. That turkey didn't last 3 months. Austin Rivers, then they tried, you know. Harold Miner was a dude who played for the Miami Heat. Right, he was a Michael Jordan wannabe. I mean, he had the bald head. He pumped his shoe. He didn't last. It was like American Idol. You watch American Idol, the auditions? That's what it was like. That's what it's like. It's like American Idol auditions. If you ever watch when Simon Cowell go, And you hear Randy Dog Jackson go, "Ooh, that's just too pitchy, dog. That's a no for me, dog. I'm sorry, dog." That's what that's what it was like. Yeah. I don't know how a dude averaging 4 points and the way he played for USC gonna make an NBA. They ain't gonna put him on the bench for like 2 or 3 years. I guess the plan. But you know, it's a no for me, dog. Too pitchy. No. They start laughing. That's what it's like. That's how it was back then. It's different now. It's different now. You know how it's different now? Because you got about 5 or 6 bums and scrubs playing for Detroit Pistons. That's how it's different. That's how it's different. Who was that the other night that was playing? And they said they had 14, 15 wins. Some scrubbed. I forgot who it was. Portland. That I mean, you don't deserve a paycheck. I mean, you can't be that bad. If he'll have to bulk up. The reason, obviously, is the last name. The elephant in the room is his dad. But they have had guys who start off slow in the NBA and eventually they got something. We'll see. This is a bought and paid for to get him in. Now, can he stay in? But if you get a chance to get an international player or somebody good, don't waste your time. He is. I feel bad for the kid because I was pulling for him because of his heart situation and all that. I give him love for that. But he ain't cut out for the NBA. Appreciate you, DP, and glad you stopped by. You brought some laughs, some good things. No, because the Ball family cats could actually play if he makes it that far. I don't know how good he gonna be either if he makes it that far. The Ball family actually could play a little bit. The Pops ran his mouth, but they play all right. It's just they didn't play worth being no top 2 or 3 draft picks, but they were cool. Have a good one, DP. Appreciate you. There's a difference. Yeah, I seen him play, but it's a big difference when you play in the NBA. Who you gonna play for? Who gonna be your coach? What kind of system you running? That's the point. Being legit and can play and going to that level and then fitting into that system is a different animal. Is that like saying Scottie Pippen Jr.'s son can play because he's playing, but how's he really playing? And we ain't gonna really know what he's about for 2 or 3 years. See, when you say that right, you got to take in consideration those factors. Is he good enough to start right now? Or will he be just being put out there by the Detroit Pistons or being put out there by the Toronto Raptors or being put out there by Washington or being put out there by Portland? See, there's standards to this. There's tiers and levels to this. You be legit to play, but then you could also be just playing for a scrub team that you just a ping pong ball situation. So all depends. Gilbert, son. Doing all right, but we really ain't gonna know nothing until Jaw gets back. We ain't gonna really know what he's made of until the coach and everything is ironed out because it's nothing that you can really see. That's all I'm saying. I'm not too quick to give cats until I see where they go. I told you all the time. Unless you're a special kind of talent, 9.9 out of 10 is the system you're in. And who's your head coach? Who's your teammates? How quick you catch on? So, ooh. Got crazy in here for a while. Whew. Wow, excuse me. Yeah. And that's being kind to them. Because they really were never was it. Because when I saw George Carlson, I said, "What's the ball boy dressed up? What's the ball boy suiting up for?" And yeah, it's tough because you got to remember, you got again and the physical demand, the consistency, the flow. So it's tough. You know, and remember, they're getting pushed because they got named fathers and named people associated with them. They were just off the street with that name. They probably don't get a chance. So I'm just saying. Yeah, gotta get myself together. Oof. But yeah, sometimes it be tough that way for some guys. It's a lot to do. It's a tough league and expectations, and when you got that last name, mm, okay. Dwayne Rock's gonna be there. Okay. Okay. I said okay. Mm. Yeah, if you into it, yeah. Like I said, they took care of the athletes. I probably won't hunky dory about them. I watch wrestling, but it doesn't hit me like it used to. Mm. Yeah. So wait, we see someone got something to say. I remember. I remember when Craig Griffey Jr. played too. I remember Ken Griffey Jr. played his minor league baseball at, and his father's last years. Excuse me. Oof. See what they're doing. I get it. Um, he was a special talent, but he worked hard at it. It wasn't like he had natural instincts. But again, was he more natural than someone like Daryl Strawberry? I'd probably tell you no. But he was compact and he had a great, his eye and his handles. He definitely came on. But I can't say you can make the case he's in an argument for that though. I'll give you that. Mm, trying to think. I gotta think about that. I don't know about that. Strawberry had a great arm. He had an incredible stroke. The strokes are like 1 and 1A. Pop. He had plenty of pop in his bat. I don't know. That Strawberry was a bad dude. He just because he took his own self down. But if he brought it like that, we'd be talking about him in a different capacity. Strawberry was a bad dude. Yeah. Strawberry was a bad dude. That's a woulda, coulda, shoulda. Should have been. We should be debating him with Bonds. We should be debating him with Pujols. We should be debating him with A-Rod. We should be debating him with Hank Aaron, Willie Mays. We should be debating him with the best of the best. That's how great he was. Well, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, what you think? I'm having a 40-year ago flashback? I don't know. Um, I'm not gonna really say nothing. We'll see what happens in the next 2 or 3 months. I don't get excited about the start of the season. That's a soft division. See what happens with Minnesota and Cleveland, but if they could be destiny, we'll see. Hmm. So we'll see. I told you before, some teams need to get off to good starts. That does wonders for their psychic and their seasons, and some others it's not a big deal. That's good. Hopefully your teams will start to do something. I mean, that's the key. Right? Mm, okay. Mhm. Hmm. See if anybody got something to say, because I'm just waiting and wondering. Hmm. How about that cramp in his right leg? How about that? Oh God. He's let me write this down. I guess I'll make a video about this tomorrow. The refs helped. Yeah, they sure did. That's why Clement put his hands on with the claw on him. How about that defense? How about his legs cramping him? How about him not being able to finish? How about him pouting and quitting? He's the biggest beneficiary of the refs. Yeah, he always got some excuse for why he comes up short. Always something. Blame it on Beer Man because the Cubs had him. Let's go find what Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had to say when they had to play at the old Boston Garden, where the hot water didn't work and everything else that you could imagine. Let's go ask them what they think about LeBron's excuses. Yeah, he don't cramp up no more. I wonder what happened. He always got some excuse. Maybe he just was getting ran out the building. Anything to take away a team beating that butt. In an era where, you know, everybody's got 50-50, loose balls, etc. I want to think he should get drug tested. I hope he don't believe the half the stuff he says because he sounds so ignorant. Oh, he'd be saying anything. But I guess I'll do a video about it. It is 10 years on that one, and they got manhandled. Uh, Drunk on wine. He drunk on something to say that mess. He must act like we didn't watch that finals. They played defense on him. That's what happened. And Patty Mills was tearing the Heat's behind up. You want to talk about role players? Patty Mills was getting in it. Of course he would. What you expect? What do you think JJ Redick gonna do? He's bought and paid for. Never mind Tony Barker was busting cakes in the postseason. Never mind that. Ginobili was all right. They were a better team. Yeah. Well, that's what we're doing now. We say some most outlandish things to downplay. That's what they do. That's why I can't watch that podcast. I appreciate you giving me tidbits. I refuse to watch that mess because they talk too, they'll say stupid stuff. No one ever beats him. It's because the dog left his bone on the side. The cheerleaders' pom poms got in my way. I couldn't think. It's always some excuse. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Because that's the only way they could get on to get the money. Why is it? They're bought and paid for. Did they not leave the Celtics to go team up in Washington or Brooklyn, and did they not do that journey? Thank you. Oh yeah, he did a story this week. He said LeBron told him if he didn't make that shot, he probably would have left Miami after 2013. That's how big that shot was. Winning. So, you know, well, seasons change, things change. But I know one thing, money talk and getting publicity and PR. The problem is with Paul Pierce is that he couldn't help himself because he needed a camera too bad. And there's money for cats to talk, but there's another amount of money when cats can walk and talk at the same time. So I don't know if his legacy was on it. I don't know what he meant by that. The guy had 2 rings and he went to 4 straight finals. I don't know what he's talking about. Legacy on the line? How? How's it on the line? Yeah. I just don't understand that one. He had 2 rings already. He went to 4 straight finals. He was great on the Miami Heat. He played his best basketball. He was fundamentally sound. He played within the concept. Remember, he either finished first in MVP voting or second, and his team either won or he finished second. He couldn't ask for a better 4 years. That's 50-50. How many people have a 4 year run like that? But having said that, they should have won 3 of them 4 chips. And he is partially responsible for that. So I can't give him a pass. Sorry. His athleticism, his talent, the 27 game win streak, you know, he was great in parts, but then he's also in parts where he was overrated. So can't give him a pass for being not gonna quite. I'll say this. They will, but he's not gonna break his neck. Not at this stage. I don't think it's about swallowing the pride and nothing like that. I just think that he still is still watching him play out. I think he wants to, but he doesn't want to keep anointing him everything. You cats wanna you cats want stuff where because you like LeBron a lot. I mean, I can respect his talent, but the Heat are still competing for a championship. In their minds they are. And you don't want a fanboy over LeBron. I think when LeBron retires, I think that's what he'll do. I'm quite sure of it. They'll wait till he's retired and put it there. You know, I think Pat Riley's doing the right thing. You can't expand when you don't have the right talent. I've already said this all the time. I've told you where I come down with Spo. And you gotta have the talent. You ain't got the talent. Terry Rozier is a good player. He ain't a great player. Told you what they need. They can't land that kind of fish they need. That's what's the real Achilles is. Get the right player along with Butler and Bam who can be an alpha. You'll see. I don't know what they could get. It's not about penny pinching. There's nothing there. It's hard to make this team work cohesively. You got to have the right chemistry. It's one thing when you could just throw LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh together and get Ray Allen. It's another when you got a player like a Jimmy Butler and Bam. Who you get is the third. Who do you get could be this dude. It's so much to etch and sketch. Not to mention they've had to change their philosophy with being a jump shooting team on the fly because that's what the league is. So there's a lot of things they don't do no more that they had to adhere to. You're not going to tell them none because it's worked. You forget 2 world championships, 2 finals after LeBron, so he's 2-4. Lost to the Lakers and the Nuggets 4 straight. Ain't gonna tell them nothing. They've been one of the most successful franchises and coaches in the last decade plus. What you gonna say? Won 3 titles in the last 18 years. That's pretty impressive. The franchise had. So, you know. So that's all I say with that. Can't do nothing unless you got the right pieces. I don't think Pat Riley's trying to hold nothing back. He's getting what he can get. They got rid of Kyle Lowry and got Terry Rozier. That's an upgrade. But the kind of upgrade he needs ain't on the market. I'm sure if they had the money, they'd probably make a pitch for Donovan Mitchell. They'd be looking to make some kind of run. So, yeah. See nobody coming through. If I don't see nobody coming through, I'm going to call it the night. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And I don't want to waste time if no one's going to come through. I want to, give you a couple minutes to see what we got. So, some great questions tonight. Glad people came through from all over the world. Got crazy. There was a lot of trolls in here. Sometimes that can be a bit much, of course. Help get rid of them trolls. But glad people came through with some great questions, great answers, great contents. Um, doing that thing. So just checking stuff out. That's all. Check one more time, make sure nobody ain't through. All right. Well, if nobody is coming through, I am going to call it a night. Appreciate everybody coming through. Stay safe, stay warm, be careful out there. Keep me posted on how things go. Appreciate the questions and the usual cast and crew that came through. Appreciate your peace the best. I'm out.